Good afternoon. My name is Matt Solers. I'm the Director of Public Relations at the New York City Campaign Finance Board. As I hope many of you know now, after hearing about our program a little bit this morning, the CFB runs a small dollar matching funds program. Candidates in that program can get $6 in public funds for each of the first $175 they raise from New York City residents. So $10 contribution is worth $70 to the campaign. Pretty powerful and effective. In the Citizens United decision, we saw a very grave threat to that program. Just one stat to show that we were right to be concerned. In 2013 and 2017 elections in New York City, outside groups spent $17 million. I'm going to talk about some of the steps we took to respond to that challenge and what led to one of the strongest disclosure systems in the country. That response started in 2010, in November of 2010, when 84% of voters approved a referendum to change our city charter to require disclosure of outside spending. By 2013, the CFB had stood up this online disclosure portal. This data grid does an effective job at answering some key questions like how much money was spent, who's doing the spending, and who their contributors are. It's less effective at helping voters, average New York City residents, connect the ads they are seeing in their homes to this information. We wanted to change that for 2017. We wanted to make something that would allow that connection to happen more easily, something that would look a lot less like a government report, and something that would highlight one of the truly powerful innovations we have in our law, which is that we require the outside groups to give us their ads. With that in mind, in 2017, we stood up Follow the Money NYC, a new portal that orients all of our data around the ads themselves so that when voters come in and search for the ads they're interested in or the spender, they can see the ad from the jump. They can make that connection. So it also helps that the independent spenders were required to include a URL to our portal, nyc.gov/followthemoney, on each of their ads. This platform is also really cool because you can see the ad in its entirety. So for instance, you can see there's a television ad up at the top left from August of 2017. If you click on that card, you go into the next pop-up window and you can see the entire ad play. And you can obviously recognize if that's the ad or not that you're looking for. Campaign finance nerds in the room are at this point saying, oh, that's really cool. You can also see more information about the ad. You can see how much it cost. You can see more details down at the bottom to learn about vendors who worked on that ad. You can see how much they were paid. You can also share the ad on social media, so please, please, please share it on social media. Our new portal also revealed more information based on changes to the law passed by the council and the mayor about contributors. In 2017, large contributors to outside spenders were required to disclose the sources of all of their funds. So it's a second level of disclosure meant to get at the sources of funding for contributors that are PACs or corporations or LLCs, sort of faceless entities. We're hoping that that second level of disclosure gets to an individual who is the original source of those funds. As you can see in this example, that's not always going to happen. There may still be second level contributors who are then themselves PACs or LLCs, but at a minimum, anyone wishing to do more research into the sources of the funds, they have more clear markers to do so based on this disclosure. So that's really important. So what do we get from all of this disclosure in New York City? Well, for one thing, in 2013 and 2017, we got elections where the $17 million spent by outside groups was a lot less important than the $55 million that the CFB paid to candidates in those elections. $55 million in public financing went to candidates in those two elections. So perhaps more importantly, we get voters who are better equipped to evaluate that outside spending and are confident that their investment in our elections, that $55 million investment, is safe. We get candidates who are confident that their participation in the program is a safe bet too, that they'll have the resources to fight back against outside spending, run a competitive campaign, and win. Indeed, 3 city council candidates are in office today despite being outspent 2-to-1 by outside groups in their first election. So post Citizens United, we want to have elections where voters decide the outcome based on what candidates are saying rather than outside groups, rather than special interests. We also want elections where the candidates are then beholden to those voters rather than special interests once they get into office. So in New York City, we feel that the recipe for success in getting to those elections post Citizens United is to combine public financing with very strong disclosure of outside groups. Thank you very much.